my fitness was terrible. My mental state was terrible. I was, well, two and a bit years ago. So I was kind of really starting to come out of one of the biggest down times in my life from a mental standpoint. Around the time I started training, we had dropped several $1 million off our portfolio and our property portfolio, and we got ourselves into a fairly stressful sort of predicament financially. We hadn't gone bust or anything, but we had significantly reduced our wealth, etc. And I had been in a really terrible headspace. Like severe anxiety, depression. My dad had just died. We just had a baby. Our relationship was a little bit tough because I was so stressed, and it was really a bit of a crappy time. And it was about that time, actually, my cousin, because he was up, we had bought a house from him, and we were just we were getting on the lash, having a few beers in the shed. And he said, he can't even remember the conversation, so it shows you how much whiskey we drunk that night. But he told me about this mountain bike race he'd been doing down in Wanaka, in Lake Hawea. And I, in my state of intoxication, somehow that got engraved in my brain. And the next day or the day after, I signed up for a 160-kilometre mountain bike race without ever doing a mountain bike race in my life. And I rang up Brett and I said, "Hey, mate, I've signed up for that race." And he goes, "Oh, yeah, what one did you sign up for?" And he goes, this is where I realised I'd maybe done the wrong thing. He goes, I said, the 160. He goes, "Oh, you idiot. You shouldn't have signed up for that." He said, "You should have only signed up for the 85 or the 90 or whatever it was." And I thought, oh, okay. And so I proceeded to ring Craig, who's a good friend of Gerard, and told him what I'd done. And Craig said, "Oh, okay, you probably should have a chat to Gerard." So that was it was all it's a story of my life. Everything's fairly erratic. And I don't really think things through too much. I'm not really over analytical about anything. And Gerard would have seen this in the earlier phases of trying to get me started with technology and all this stuff. I lose the plot trying to get stuff going. I'm like 100 miles an hour in everything I do. And anyway, so I rang up Gerard, or Gerard rang me, and we had a chat. And I think I just said, I'll just tell me what to do and I'll do it. And that's kind of how it started with TriVelo. And, to fast forward from that point, going back to that hill that I was telling you about that I can't even ride up. Well, I can sprint up that now on my bike.
Yeah.
And it's pretty crazy to think that you can jump on your mountain bike today and just bang out 100 Ks and you're still good to have a beer if you want, where in the early phases of my training, I'd do 20K and I'd come back and I'd have to go to sleep. Like, that's how unfit I was.